To the thing. How do you start a podcast?
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed listening to conversations since I was young. I was never really into like what is this?
Joe Rogan and all that.
No, Wong Fu. I was never into YouTube like that.
Wong Fei Hong.
Wong
Fu
Fu
Productions.
Productions,
Okay,
all those.
okay.
I was never really, I was never really into that kind of content. I was always more into like, I remember on Star Wars, I would watch David Letterman, Jay Leno. I just really always like listening
Like
to people talk.
charismatic interview.
I would watch Inside the Actors Studio, which no one really watches. And then all these late night guys like Conan. My favorite is Craig Ferguson.
Oh, Craig
Craig Ferguson, damn good.
What's that British guy's name again? That one who does.
Jimmy Fallon.
No, he was in Eurovision also.
Will Ferrell.
No, Will Ferrell was there also, but he's the commentator in Eurovision.
I don't know, man.
He interviewed a lot of.
Andy James.
Oh, he's a British guy.
I'm just calling the
He's a
football
late night guy.
commentators.
He's a late night.
The only
guy.
British guy is
David
James
Letterman.
Corden.
No, bro.
I don't know.
What other British guys? Graham Norton.
Graham Norton. Yeah,
Graham Norton is very good.
Graham Norton is really good. He's really good. Yeah.
Breakfast Club, Joe Rogan, a lot lah. So I just continue to progress. So from that it became listening to podcasts, and I guess if you do something long enough, you also like want to do it lah. Then for many years actually I wanted to do it. Then I always kept on telling myself like I'm not ready. Then suddenly I'm like 28 years old, MCO has hit, and I realized like shit, what if I die and like I've never really accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. So I told myself like stop giving excuses lah, just do it lah. Even if it sucks, just do it lah. So I just did it lah.
But like from what I see in your podcast setup, right, there's a lot of like musical instruments and all that,
Yeah.
So like Chong and I were theorizing this shit. We were like, this fucker music background, is it? Or somebody music background? Takkan all the equipment so nice. He can listen so short.
That's
all
your
that.
dad's.
Oh, your dad.
My dad and my brother play, but my brother is abroad lah. Now he's in Sabah.
Oh, okay.
So my dad plays lah. So the equipment was all there.
The microphones.
Everything was there. Interface was there because they sometimes just for fun do
They jam
recordings. Yeah, simple stuff lah. So yeah.
So the audio part, like as in back end, it's kind of like more or less figured out already lah.
I had the equipment, but for me, I was very particular because I wanted it to sound a particular way. I wanted people to listen to it and not know that it was like recorded at home. I wanted it to sound at least a little bit studio-ish. A little bit lah.
I gotta give credit where credit due. It's fucking amazing though.
Yeah, so I was quite particular about that lah. And that was one of the reasons why I actually didn't want to start. But then when I figured out, okay, this is some of the ways I can go around it, then I did it lah.
I think your podcast audio, right, is like top of the top, bro. It feels so like bassy, so deep, and then it really feels like I'm in the fucking room sometimes, Yeah. Especially like when it's noisy. Like the two things I feel that is very difficult for a podcast to overcome is when I'm working out and when I'm in the car. Because Shock was telling me how like the sound, right, needs to be really, really high up there. Because when you drive in the car, right, you can't really hear already,
Yeah.
So it needs to be like punchy in a way. Then second is like when you're working out, when I'm running or whatever, so you hear yourself breathing and all that.
Yeah.
So when you hear the podcast, that's why Joe Rogan's is so good. And
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss also like, actually.
That's why sometimes I switch between listening to my podcast because I test it before I release it.
Oh, I see.
I try either I'll put it speaker from my phone or I do earphones, but I alternate like different episodes just to make sure that however you are listening to it, it sounds okay lah. So that was important to me lah.
I feel like we didn't really give a fuck about audio, right? Which is like totally stupid. as
I
shit.
mean the fact that you all did it in a cafe.
Bro, the one at Cafe is one of the worst lah. Not Chaplang, the Cafe I think was
Coffee.
It was so
Coffee
bad,
some
bro.
more.
I almost cried watching
No,
it
because
again.
the initial concept, like if you know, is we were
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to do it in the cafe.
Cafe and then
So when I
get
first became like a fan of your podcast, then I like stalked you all from the beginning. First, I noticed that on Spotify, it's not the full
Yeah,
set.
it's not.
So I stalked you on YouTube. I went back and I was like, wow, these guys it's like a complete
Renegade.
different,
Yeah.
it's like you all started the podcast 10 years ago.
It kind of felt that way lah. Let's put it there lah. Okay, let's put it there lah.
It's quite hardcore,
Quite bad, man.
Especially in like that echo room.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
the
the
echo room
one-
was better lah, I feel. It was better because at least you can somewhat hear. But the cafe one is like, what the fuck are you all thinking? But
we
I
were
mean-
not thinking lah.
No, but that's the thing. Because I started doing YouTube quite some time ago already, like 5-6 years ago. And for me, right, it's always like, why am I giving myself the excuse?
Yeah.
When you can give out shit quality. Who says it needs to be professional grade?
Yeah, and you guys are a good example. If you all had given yourself this reason excuse, say like, we don't have the proper equipment to make it sound good, and you all hadn't at least taken the first step, you all might not be here today.
Yeah, man.
It's a
It's true.
progression. It's just growth.
But people don't see that. People see like you need to immediately have everything.
Yeah.
You need to buy all the equipment to start, which is damn hard, bro, because it's such huge capital.
Not only that, when you first start releasing episodes, which I know a lot of podcasters now, and you're getting like 30, 40 listens only, 30, 40
Yeah.
downloads.
Then
it can be very
discouraging.
discouraging. It can be very discouraging.
We give no fuck. Yeah, that's why we always praise Jovina Choi, you know.
Yeah, Jovina Choi was like
5K
episode
plus?
16 or some shit like that.
She made you all really blow up.
Yeah, with like 3K views for shitty audio. I'm like, wow.
Oh, because Jovina Choi, bro. Until today, man,
Yeah.
Jovina Choi.
But then I think you can see as a testament of our perseverance. Because when you see like, wow, from shit, right? And then you look at it, right? It's like the studio first lighting quite shit. Then you see Chalk brings in all this super equipment, right? Then you're like, wow, really can see difference.
Evolve, bro.
You know
Evolve,
what I
bro.
mean?
Evolution.
And I think that's part of your appeal as well, because people are riding with you, then they see you guys growing, and then they are part of that journey with you as well. They're like, they're part of you. They feel part of the community.
Welcome to the journey.
Patreon, pay patronage.
Yeah. Welcome to the journey.
If you want to see them grow more, pay more.